This is a story that reads like fiction. The reigning world champion turns his back on Formula One and switches to Indycar racing. No one in his first ever Indycar race has started from the pole and won. At Surfers Paradise, Nigel rewrites the record book.
There is a lot to learn, and it's a different science on an oval, and you know, that's going to be the biggest challenge in 2 weeks' time.
The racing oval in the Arizona desert could be 1,000,000 miles from the street course of surfers where Nigel felt so at home. Phoenix, he knew, would be different. He'd broken the lap record there in pre-season testing, but with other cars on the track, the banked corners and unforgiving walls took on a more sinister appearance. Saturday, April the 3rd. Going into turn 1, Mansell lost control of his car and hit the wall at 180 miles an hour, knocking a hole clean through it. After 10 minutes in the wrecked car, he was wheeled unconscious to a waiting helicopter. Some feared the worst, but remarkably within hours, he was talking to us from his hospital bed. The one thing on his mind, a quick return to the cockpit. The Nigel Mansell story continues. Next up, we take a look at Phoenix, the town in the desert and home of the International Raceway. We'll be reliving another historic weekend for Nigel's team owners Carl Haas and Paul Newman. And we follow Nigel in the days before the race as he wins a host of new fans. Nigel's fellow drivers talk about a man who's turned their sport upside down. And still to come, the next road race, Long Beach. Head due east from Los Angeles, and on the long drive towards Phoenix, you'll find the barren landscape dotted with reminders of the Wild West days. Some, though, unashamedly catering for tourists. There's no doubting the biggest attraction for Nigel Mansell when he's off duty, golf. In the past, he's given several professionals a run for their money. And here at a course they call the Wigwam Club, Nigel had a chance to match his skills against another racer with a passion for the sport, Bobby Rahal.
Super. So, I'm one up. We'll just ignore
right now.
One up, yeah.
Rahal's record on the racetrack takes some matching. Last year, he was supreme here at Phoenix. He could teach Nigel a thing or two about the oval, but would his golf game compare with hard-driving Mansell?
Well, welcome to Phoenix, and here we are for the second round of the PPG Indy World Series Championship. And none other is Bobby Rahal, the defending champion, and we're in the best place, aren't we, Bobby?
Absolutely.
So we're out here. It's presently about 12 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. One has to recap that because travelling back from Australia, the body's here, but the mind isn't here completely yet. But we're just having a bit of relaxation, and what do you think of it so far?
Today?
Yeah.
Well, I'm 3 down, aren't I? So it could be better, but it's been fun.
Rahal's no mean player himself, and indeed runs a charity pro-am every September in Ohio. Mansell was enjoying himself, striking the ball hard and sinking the putts.
Get in, beauty. Fabulous three. Well, as you can see, he's come into his own now. He's come back. We're level going into the last hole. Birdie on the last hole. You saw the up and down there. He's a bandit.
Now I'm going to get a reputation.
Yeah.
Mansell's just as competitive on the golf course as he is on the racetrack, and there's money at stake too.
Good ball there. All right, good ball.
Oh, I talked him into it. Go on, ball. Go on, ball. We'll show you what friendship is. We'll give you that one. There you go. I think that's $10, Bobby.
Is it? Okay.
But I can
Is that
assure
Australian or is that Canadian or US?
Well, I think as long as it's legal currency, I don't
No
mind.
problem.
But I can tell you one thing: is going to be far harder to beat on the racetrack. He's defending winner here last year, defending champion, and I think he's been kind to me today. What do you say?
I don't know, you earned it all.
Thanks, Bobby. I will have the $10 later.
From the plush greens to the hard tarmac of Firebird International Raceway for a late afternoon shakedown to check out the Lolas following the long trip from down under. There was time for a quick chat with valued race engineer Peter Gibbons. Remember in Australia how Nigel had limped from the car after the finish, complaining of a very painful foot? He'd taken time out to discover a problem with the pedals.
With the Lola chassis, we've got quite a small brake pedal which was square. It wasn't sort of tapered in the side, and the edge of the pedal was very sharp, and as you sort of heel and toe, the brake pedal was actually cutting into the ball of my foot, and there's a nerve right in the middle of the foot, and it deadened the nerve completely, which then just gave it cramp. This is standard apparently in Indycars. Mario's had it for a long time. What we've got now is a carbon Kevlar sole. You can see how thin it is, and then you've got some padding. Now after today, I shall actually insert this into my right boot, so it'll give me extra protection from braking and using the accelerator.
Complete with high-tech right foot, the heaviest in the business with or without the carbon fibre insert, Nigel climbed aboard the car that brought him his Australian success. Soon he was back on the circuit where he first drove an Indycar some 3 months earlier. There were, though, some problems with the Lola, and he was soon back in the pits complaining of an engine gremlin. The number 6 car of Mario Andretti was given a clean bill of health. It had performed perfectly. His mechanics put the car to bed early.
Qualifying on a small mile oval is something totally different to what we've ever experienced before. You have one shot of it. That's to say you have 4 warm-up laps on your own, and then you do 2 flying laps, and the quickest flying lap is your qualifying time. And if the car doesn't work or you goof up, then that's it. You never get a second chance. So we're here testing 4 cars. Mario's got a spare car, I've got a spare car. My actual winning car of Australia of 2 weeks ago has got a problem already with the turbo and wastegate area. So we're not getting the boost trace, and the boost is not coming up, and therefore the power of the engine is really down. You can see a lot of people scullerying around the car there and trying to find what is the problem, but it looks like we're going to have a couple of hours more here trying to sort it out, because if we don't sort this problem out here, we'll be in big time trouble on Saturday. That's what testing's all about, and that's why we're sitting here patiently now.
And in the gathering dusk of a desert evening, the quiet was broken by the rasp of a racing V8.
I think, to be fair to him, that's the longest 15 minutes ever, though, isn't it?
I would say pretty close.
Oh, yeah. We'll write this one down on the record.
I shall write this one down.
This is as good as it gets.
Peter said, turn up at 3, we'll be finished at 4.
You believe
normal deal.
Look, you get this beautiful evening for free tonight.
Nigel could have done with some lights on the machine, but there was just enough time to put in a couple of laps. The car returned, the engine in much better shape, and the wait had been worth it.